Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is about my experience so far with the Simucube. I've had it around a week now and I've got to know its basics fairly well. So that's what this is, just covering what I've found so far. And what I've been doing over the last week is I've been directly comparing it to the DD1 and the DD Pro, since they're the only other two wheelbases I've got to compare it against. So I've been doing them back to back. I wanted to test the DD1 to make sure everything worked perfect on it. So I've been testing with both. Feel if you do them back to back, you can feel the subtle differences between the bases, and yeah, it's been fun doing it. So let's go to here. Now, when you first power on the Simucube, you're prompted to do an update, which is very quick and painless. It works straight away, and then you're greeted with this. So to begin with, let's just click on reset center. So you hold your wheel where you think the center is, then click set permanent wheel center, and that's done. That's registered. There we go. You can change the picture of the wheel there to whatever wheel you're using. You just have to download a file for whatever wheel it is, put it into a folder, and then it'll show up here. It's not something I'm too bothered about, so I haven't done it. But let's disable high torque mode. Now, when you first power it on, normally it'll be in low torque mode. Literally when you first get the base, first do an update. So click enable high torque mode. Two ways of doing this. So you scroll down, click activate high torque mode. Now we're in high torque mode. So what happens is there's a built-in safety feature that you can turn off. I'll show you how to turn it off in a moment, where it'll disable high torque mode if you haven't touched the base for a fixed amount of time. I'm not actually sure what the length of time is because I haven't sat and done it, but yeah, it'll disable itself, and when you first switch it on, it'll also disable itself, so you do what I've just shown you there. But I mean, who wants to do that every time they power the base on? So let's disable it again. Enable. Now when you scroll down here, instead of clicking activate high torque mode, you'll see a grayed out automatic activation here, counting down from 10 seconds. Wait for a moment. Go. So you click automatic activation on each start, click activate, tick these two boxes, activate it automatically, and now you never have to worry about that again. It's always going to be in high torque mode. So that would be the first thing I'd do if you don't want to use that safety feature. Now next, let's go to here. This is where you'll use connect a wireless wheel if you want to use the wireless system in the base. This one doesn't do that. This is the F Pro, connects Bluetooth to the PC. I'm using it wired anyway, but all the Simucube wheels work on the base, and also the Asher Racing wheels. If you buy one of the wireless ones, they'll work with the Simucube. So those are your two brands that have options. I'm not able to test this because I haven't got anything that'll work with it. Let's go down to settings then. So these are just like overall settings. Audible notifications, so like the bleep when it turns on, or when you activate something. I've left that on. Torque clipping notification, I've left that off. I don't see why I would want to hear a bleep, and to be honest, I probably won't see any clipping because I don't run a huge amount of force feedback. Desktop centering spring, so this can keep the wheel centered. So if I turn it 90 degrees, move to 100%, and then it's mega hard to so I haven't bothered with that. I'm not sure why I'd want it. Maybe there's some situation where you'd want that, but I personally don't need it. Hands-off detection. So this will disable the torque when you let go of the wheel, and then it'll pick up when you've next touched it. I have that off. Not something I need personally. Some people might. Resonance Filter settings, resonance reduction, haven't. Reduces metal noise coming from the motor. Don't see why I would need that either. So, I mean, I've literally left most of these things as they are. Start with Windows. I've selected yes. And let's this is where you'll see your firmware version. And this is the latest firmware. So yeah, that's it for that tab. Now the interesting bit is here. So this is, how do I, profiles, black mode. So when you first click on the third tab down, these are the profiles that I've downloaded to try, or I've fiddled around with myself and saved it. You can add a new profile where you start from scratch with base settings and just whatever you like. I haven't done too much of that yet. There's so much you can do that it's going to take me a while to get to grips with all the adjustments. So this is where you can edit profiles that you've downloaded and are stored. So if you go to True Drive Paddock, now this is the online portal where you can download, people's profiles. First one I downloaded was this, so let's click on view, and then I've tweaked it a little bit. So this is the Dan Suzuki profile, and this works well on all the cars. It's an excellent profile. Tweaked a couple of things. I dropped that down from 100% to 60. I know technically you're supposed to leave it at 100 and just adjust it in the game or sim. But my experience on AMS2 was it frightened me. It really did. So I don't want it to be able to give me 25 Newton meters just in case. But that's just me. So yeah, I've moved that to 60 degrees. It's at 1080 for the steering range. The same in game, and then that way it'll adjust the car's relevant lock to lock angle without you doing anything. Same as how like Fanatec does. Does the same thing. You just leave it on 900 or 1080, and it'll just, you don't have to worry about adjusting it per car. But if you want the bump stop at the relevant amount of travel for each car, set that up for each car and have per car profiles if you want that. Doesn't bother me too much, but anyway, let's carry on. So one thing people talk about a lot, bit of a misconception, that having the slew rate as fast as possible is always better. That's only like true up to a point. So this will go up to 8 Newton meters per millisecond, and I've tried it at that. And how do I explain this? On the DD1 and the DD Pro, when I try and catch a slide, I'm not really going on feel on it telling me that the car's sliding. So I'm going on visuals on how the car is looking in relation to the road, and I'll see a slide coming and react to it rather than feeling for it. Now, if you have the slew rate set to the fastest possible, that's how fast it can respond to something happening and tell you that there's a slide. If you have that set to as fast as possible, I tried it, and there was a couple of times where I corrected based on feel, and I reacted to basically too fast and ended up shooting the other way. So I can't remember what the Dan Suzuki profile started on. It was somewhere around 6. So I've moved it to 6.28, and that feels most natural. So when a slide starts, what I'm seeing and feeling feels in sync. I don't know if I've explained that well enough, but for me, around 6 to 6.3 or something, around there, it feels just natural when a car starts to slide. And so, yeah, that's it. So I haven't maxed it out because it just didn't feel. It just felt too quick. It was just letting me know of a slide happening too sharply, I suppose, is the best way I can describe it. But this is all just me, my personal experience so far. Your mileage may vary. So if you want to download, let's go and download a profile. So have a look. So ACC, this is in order of popularity. So there's absolutely tons and tons of profiles here. The consistent ones that I've tried have been excellent. Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of like trying different setups on a car, like downloading some say Go setups and trying them, and then comparing them to like Coach Dave or Hymo. That kind of is like what this feels like. And on the DD1 in Fanalab, let me see if I can bring it. I've got Fanalab installed. I have. Let's see. I haven't got Asset base connected. Right, so that's minimized. Where are you? Okay, so tuning menu. Yeah, you can't see the tuning menu. What about the profiles? So ACC, I had these profiles for each car. These are the Maurice profiles, and in there is what the settings were for, for each one. So there's slight tweaks between them, and you don't feel a huge amount of difference between them. I have messed around with the settings a little bit, and there's some slight differences, but for the most part, there's not a huge difference from one car to another. And that's not the case here. This is so different. The one car can feel so different to another. For example, the Ferrari profile that I tried. So ACC car type. So it's obviously going to be trees. Wheel type. You can even select what wheel by wheel that you're using. So in Ferrari, so the max speed Ferrari, this one I've tried and it feels amazing. Do feel like you're in a mid-engine car with a slightly lighter front end, and then as the downforce starts to pin the car down, the faster you go, you feel that. So it communicates it so well. Force feedback. It's a really good profile, this. So you can click quick try to just quickly apply the settings and then go out for a drive. Or if you want to alter it, you can like let's try BMW. Oh, I've tried this one as well for the M4. And this the same. You feel like you're in a front engine car. It feels really weighty, like it's got a really weighty front end. And yeah, again, really good. This one hasn't. A lot of the profiles, these are just left at 100. The amount of things you can adjust on this, there's quite a lot more than you get in Fanalab. So in terms of feel, the first thing that I noticed when I powered this on was how smooth it is. And everyone talks about this, how the Fantech wheel's got a bit of a grainy feel as you're passing between magnets. And when you're driving, you don't really notice it much, but once you're using the base where that's gone, you instantly notice the smoothness, and it feels really strange to begin with. And you don't feel anything. It's just perfectly smooth. So when you feel like you're not losing any kind of fidelity, and it's just like another example. People say that you feel more detail with this, say over a DD1. But to begin with, I could instantly tell that, but I couldn't really put my finger on exactly why. But I think I've figured it out. So in terms of detail, when you're understeering, feel you feel it go light on any wheelbase I've tried. You just feel that lightness of understeer. When you go over a rumble strip, you feel the rumble. And on the other bases, when you understeer over a rumble strip, I couldn't really feel the understeer part as much separated from the rumble strip. So feeling two things through the base at a time, one would kind of muddy the other. This, I feel like I can separate the different feelings a bit more sharply. And I've probably not explained that very well, but yeah, it feels absolutely excellent. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a night and day difference from any other direct drive base. I think that's an overused term. People use that term when they upgrade anything. And night and day with me, I would say, is going from a gear driven base to a direct drive. That is a huge difference. That I would call night and day. And it's that first feeling is amazing. Won't necessarily make you faster. People are just as quick on a G29 as something high end. But the experience is that much different that I think any direct drive base is going to make you happy. And in terms of what I've felt so far, I'd say this is, I don't know, just plucking a number out of the air. I'd say the DD1 gives you maybe 85% of the experience you get with this. But it's not going to make you faster. It's just a nicer experience. And one other little thing I noticed when I was going back to back between the DD1 and the DD Pro, I hadn't realised this, but the DD Pro feels quite light around the centre. So your first 5 to 10 degrees of movement when you're driving in a straight line, it doesn't really pull the wheels straight. So almost like when you're driving a real car and you've got a bit of play in the track rod ends or the steering rack, and you've got that little bit of kind of an empty feeling at the centre. Kind of feels like that. It doesn't make you any slower or anything. It's just something I never noticed before until I did back-to-back tests. And this is the exact same. It's as the DD1 in terms of centering itself while you're driving, and these different setups you can probably even adjust that. But that's just something I noticed on the DD Pro, and when I did notice it, I tried messing with the settings to try and get rid of it, and I couldn't. So that's just one difference I noticed between the Pro and the DD1. Pro, I've always thought it was a little smoother than the DD1, just lighter. But I mean, anyway, that's how I compare it to the DD1. So if you've got a DD base and you're happy with it, probably not going to get any faster going to a more expensive one. But as far as the experience, I've been able to just download all these different profiles and test them. It's epic. I mean, it is epic, and I'm extremely. It's exceeded what I was expecting. I knew it was going to be better, or I knew it was going to feel better. But yeah, I'm extremely happy now that I've jumped ship, and hopefully, if it remains reliable, I won't be changing anytime soon. I'm kind of curious to see what Simucube bring out with the Simucube 3, which is probably not far away because these have been out for a while now. So they're probably due update. But absolutely amazed. I absolutely love it. Another thing, the connection to the base is just so solid that it feels like the wheel's part of the base. And the DD1 feels like that now with the QR2. That's extremely solid as well. The DD Pro had a tiny bit of wiggle with the QR2 on it, but it wasn't the QR2 that moves. When you give it a wiggle, there's just a tiny little movement in the shaft, and I think that's pretty normal because it's not something you feel when you're driving, and it is only tiny. I mean, I'm really nitpicking here, but yeah, this feels just so solid that yeah, absolutely love it. But I can't think of anything else to cover here, but just go and do a few laps of something. Power up my headset. Off. Go for a little drive. I haven't tried the Assetto Corsa yet. I tried AMS2, and while I was sitting in the pit, I started the engine and you could feel it rumbling. And I only had one hand on the wheel, and then the shaking from the rumble got more and more. And then in the end, I had to just let go, and it smacked the back of my hand, and it really hurt. So I had to just, reach for that and give it a click. So the talk button was needed on my first try of AMS. You can probably tune that out with the. I think you increase the damping to get rid of oscillations. So I will give that a go. Jump into single player. Oh, why not try a little drive around with the Porsche? Let's go for a little spin. Oh, let's just grab a quali setup and go for a few laps. Alright then. Oh, I haven't loaded a specific profile for the Porsche, this is just the Dan Suzuki one. Grass. You literally feel so much, all these tiny little bumps. Goes well with the butt kicker as well. Everything that you feel through the wheel, you get through the seat. So combining the two, it's a brilliant experience. Feeling over the rumble strip. You even feel the flat paint. In between rumble and the flat bit of white paint, you actually, I don't know how to explain, but you kind of feel that. Each rumble is just so finely defined. Can't imagine anything getting much better than this in terms of feel. Great feeling car this on Laguna. Like that little slide that I caught then. With the slew rate set to what it is. It's just easy just to hold the amount of slide that you need. Like sometimes you'll see people when they're trying to catch a slide, they'll be going like this, you know, sawing the wheel. You just don't do that on this. You don't need to. Although, I mean, I don't usually saw at the wheel much anyway when I'm using any wheelbase, because mostly I'm relying on visuals and seeing that slide happening. But this, I can go on feel. I don't have to see the slide coming. It's telling me just at the right time when to correct. It might not make you faster. Might help consistency. Depending on if you normally have trouble catching slides. You know, if you want a different base. It's that little bit easier. But it feels natural. It doesn't feel like cheating. It's just lovely. That slide there, it's just, you feel it really gently, and it's lovely. That little bit of understeer before it ports a corner then. Feel it really gently. But yeah, all day hot lapping on here, so let's pull over before I send people to sleep. So yeah, in terms of settings in did I hang right. In terms of settings in ACC, this will, when you click on it, little bit it now. It right. On this profile it tells you what to set the in-game settings to, or in-sim settings to. Like dynamic damping at 100, damper 0, minimum force 0, 400 hertz, zoom lock 1080. So that's what I don't know if this takes control of ACC and changes it for you, but I went in there and that's what it was all set to. So I can't remember if that's just default or not, but yeah. So the settings are there. If you've been messing with it in game, then and you want to make sure that you feel exactly what you meant to feel with the like this profile, set it to that, and yeah, then just mess around with it however you want. But this Dan Suzuki profile feels spot on for just all round grab it and go. The max speed Ferrari feels excellent for the Ferrari, and the I can't remember if I've tried the AMG one or not. But yeah, but there's so many to try, and not just ACC. All the options are here. Oh, Rensport's there. I have got Rensport. I was going to do a video on it. I haven't tried it for a while, so might do that soon and do a video, see what it feels like on that. But yeah, I'll try all the ones that I've got. I'm going to try them. The original AC I really want to try, because that's always felt amazing. You know, really, that's always felt really realistic. yeah, the Automobilista 2-1. Oh, hang on. There we go. I tried this one, I think. Yes, again, tons and tons of Automobilista ones for each car if you want per car ones. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've pretty much covered everything. So that's just my personal experience so far. Absolutely over the moon with the base, and just more important than anything, I just wanted something reliable, and hopefully that'll stay the case. And just drive and not have to worry about something failing. Yeah, I think I've waffled on long enough now. Yeah, thanks so much for coming along. If you got any questions, just ask away, and if I can answer, then I will. Thanks so much for coming, and I shall see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.